Hey guys, welcome to Motoroids. My name is Amit and this is the new Hyundai Exter. As you know, cars are getting expensive, and as an antidote to the price of the cars, there has been a new segment that has been created in the sub 4 meter category, and the Tata Punch has been running away with all the sales in that segment. Well, not anymore, because a fitting contender has come now, and if you look at the feature set and the way this car has been built, I really think that this is going to give it a good run for its money. Now in this video I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about the Exter, so I would really request you that you stay with me, because this is going to be a little longer than usual, and we are going to start with the styling of the car. Let's start with the front, but before that let's also talk about the dimensions. Now the Punch, in terms of the overall length and the width, is slightly, like very slightly bigger, but what really matters is the wheelbase, and this car has a longer wheelbase by 5 mm. This is also taller if you take into consideration the roof rails, and most importantly, the boot here is also quite big. It's 391 liters as compared to 366 liters on the Punch. Now let's talk about the styling. Now this color that you see here is the Ranger Khaki color, which is new. That color there, the Cosmic Blue, is also new. These are two new exclusive colors, and they can also be had with a black roof. In all, you have 6 monotone and 3 two-tone colors. Now, as you can see, it gets the new flat Hyundai logo, the Exter branding here, and it gets this HDRL. Now the blinkers are not LEDs, they are bulbs, and it gets this bifunctional projector headlamp here with a DRL. Now it doesn't have any fog lamps. The front also gets this very pronounced skid plate, and it gives it a very SUV-ish, very outdoorsy look. It gets a parametric grille, and it's got this honeycomb mesh kind of a design. Overall it looks very neat, very angular, and has a very outdoorsy, very off-roadish kind of a look. It does look very, very premium. And coming towards the side, you'll see that it gets machine cut alloys. Now the top of the line variant will get these machine cut alloys. The lower variants will get alloys, but they are two-tone, not machine cut, and the lower variants will get steel rims with 14 inches. These are 15-inch wheels, 175 section tires. The Punch gets wider tires. The tires here are slightly narrower. They fill up the wheel arches very, very well, as you can see, and the wheel arches are also squared. It also gets this plastic cladding, blacked out ORVM with LED blinkers, 185 mm of ground clearance, which means that you can take this car out on bad surfaces, bad roads very easily, shouldn't be a problem. Gets a request sensor, so you can get inside the car without taking the key out of your pocket. This one gets a blacked out roof. You also get black taping for all the 3 pillars. Coming towards the rear, you'll get this shark fin antenna, but the segment leading feature that this compact SUV has is that it gets a single pane sunroof, which the Tata Punch does not. So in that sense, it's a segment leading feature that this car has. You also get this very stylish rear spoiler, high mount roof lamp. Now, just like the front, you get an H-shaped tail lamp here, and as you can see, there are elements which are bulbs inside the main tail lamp also. Of course, this is a very price sensitive segment, so you have to make sure that the cost doesn't go beyond the expectations of the customers. The blinker and the reverse light is also bulb. Extra branding here. This is the camera sitting right here, and this plaque here is somewhat in a honeycomb mesh design. You get rear wash and wipe with a defogger, and just like the front, there is a skid plate here as well. Now let's have a look at the boot. And the boot here, as I mentioned, is 391 liters, which is segment leading. You have the illumination here, and the seat is a single piece unit, so you don't have a 60-40 split seat. So that's something that Hyundai could probably have done, but they have given it a miss. Now the loading lip is quite high, but it's not as deep as some of the other cars, so it should not be too inconvenient to load or unload stuff. Let's have a look at the spare as well. And this is the tire that you will get on the base variant, 165 section tire with a 14-inch wheel. Now, before we get inside, pardon me for using this piece of paper, but I would want to spell out all the features that this car has over the Punch. And in that sense, there are many things that the Exter offers over the Punch, and the most important of all of those is the fact that this is a 4-cylinder engine. This comes with a 4-cylinder engine as opposed to a 3-cylinder engine on the Punch, which means that the engine would be smoother. In terms of power output, you will get 83 PS of power and 114 Newton meters of torque. That's 1 Nm less than the Punch and about uh, 3.8 PS less than the Punch. But as I mentioned, the refinement here would be a lot better. The fuel efficiency here for the manual transmission is 19.4. For the AMT, it's 19.2. And the other great feature that this car has and the Punch doesn't, this comes with a CNG option, and with the CNG you will get 27.1 kilometers per kg. Uh, in terms of the other features that this car has, as I mentioned, it gets a sunroof, it gets a dash cam for the front and the rear, it gets a wireless charger which is a segment first, it gets the fastest Type C USB within the segment, it gets the paddle shifters on the AMT. So that again is a feature that no other car in the segment has. Uh, it gets 12 multi-language UI support. So there are 10 regional languages and 2 foreign languages. It gets onboard navigation, which is a feature that no other car has in the segment. It also gets the sounds of nature that has been a signature Hyundai feature. It gets 92 embedded voice commands, rear AC vents, which the Punch does not have. It gets Alexa Home to Car, which again the Punch does not have. As I mentioned, the boot is bigger. It gets 60 plus Blue Link connectivity features, which is again segment leading. It gets a shark fin antenna, which again the Punch doesn't have. It gets footwell lighting, the Punch doesn't have it. It gets metal pedals for the AMT variants, which is a very sporty offering, and generally you don't get these features in these basic segments, but this one does have it. Then it also gets segment best 3 years unlimited kilometers warranty, which again will bring peace of mind to you. This can be extended to up to 7 years, which is mind-bogglingly good. You'll also get 3 years RSA, 3 years repair and maintenance package. So all of that will add to your peace of mind. Now in terms of safety, this car comes loaded with 6 airbags as standard. So that's again a segment first, and the Punch does not have that feature. This comes with 6 airbags as standard. It gets ESC, vehicle stability management, hill assist control. It gets a burglar alarm, 3-point seat belts for all 5 passengers, and seat belt reminders for all the passengers. Now, as I mentioned, it should have had fog lamps, which this car does not have, but that's okay, I think, because the feature set this car is offering is very, very generous. I think it's time now to get inside the car and see how the interior looks and what is the look and feel of the car. Now, if you look at the interior, this interior, as you see here, has this silver insert, but it does come with an all black interior also. So this is one of the options. You have black with silver. The other option is all black with these rings as a light blue, and the third option that you have is all black with a light gold color. So these are the 3 options that you'll get. You'll get wireless charging here, and if you look closely, this is something that you've already seen on the i10 and the Aura. So this interior is pretty similar. You have this all digital instrument console, which again is a highlight for this segment. You have this 8-inch screen, which is high definition. The dash cam that I talked about is right here, and here you have 3 modes, and one of the modes is the normal mode. The second mode is where you have an incident mode, like if you brake or there's an accident, or the third mode is the vacation mode, where a time lapse will keep going on. Now, I have talked about a lot of features on the infotainment system already, and the steering has mounted controls. It comes with cruise control. These are the paddle shifters, and as you can see, this is the AMT variant, and you have these 2 cup holders, this little slot for a cell phone. This is the normal USB socket, another one here, and this one here is the Type C USB socket, which is the fastest in segment. You also get a cooled glove box, which is a great feature to have. You have storage spaces here, and apart from this, if I have to talk about some really salient features of this car, uh, it gets on the inside, it gets these premium mats which you won't get in a lot of other cars. Uh, this dashboard tray, which is quite useful. Um Now the sunroof here comes with voice commands, and you can use voice commands to open the sunroof and close it like you can in the Hyundai Venue as well. Uh, as I mentioned, it gets cruise control, auto AC, and the rear AC vents are also something that the Punch does not have. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay is present. Another great feature that you have here is TPMS, and tire pressure monitoring system for this class is again something very appreciable. Uh, I mentioned sounds of nature, so there are 7 sounds of nature. Blue Link comes with 3 years of OTA updates and 60 plus connected features, 92 embedded voice commands. Now, in terms of safety, as I mentioned, this comes with 6 airbags as standard, but not just that. This time Hyundai is saying that they have used a very rigid cockpit, very rigid structure with advanced high-strength steel and they are saying that whenever this car is tested, it's going to get a very good rating. As I mentioned, uh, it gets 6 monotone and 3 dual tone colors, and 2 colors are new. The doors are designed in such a manner that the ingress and egress is easy. The steering is covered in leatherette, and so is the gear knob. And that's more or less everything that you want to know about it. Do have a look at the interior and do let me know what you think about it. I think for this class, this is segment leading. This one here is leatherette and fabric. So a part of it is leatherette and a part of it is fabric, and you have the extra branding and a lot of textures here. So it does indeed look very nice. The interior definitely looks a notch above the Tata Punch and has more features as well. Let's have a look at the back seat as well. So the rear gets a 12-volt power socket, no USB sockets here, but the headroom here is pretty good. So even 6 feet or 6 feet 2 uh, people can easily sit here, and there's ample headroom. Hyundai says that there is a sense of airiness, and you can look out because the greenhouse area is very, very big. Although the window line is quite high, but you do feel like you're sitting in a car with big glasses. The headrests are adjustable, and all the passengers will get a proper 3-point seat belt. As you can see here, there is ample storage space for a big 1 to 1.5 liter water bottle. All these plastics are hard to touch, but this part here is a little textured, and you can have a look at the front door panel as well. The seats are pretty comfortable both up front and at the rear, but the front seat does not get an adjustable headrest, so that's something that probably could have been a little better. 2 people can sit in great comfort. Hyundai says that they have really worked very hard on tuning the suspension of this car, and it'll ride and handle well. I'll be able to tell you that in a couple of days once I drive this car, but for now, the knee room, the headroom, the shoulder room, all of that looks good by virtue of the fact that this has the longest wheelbase in its class. You can probably seat 3, but there is no headrest for the third person. But it can seat 3 only for short to medium journeys. Now 2 can seat in comfort, and in terms of space, I really don't have any problems. It also comes with ISOFIX child seat mounts, the rear AC vent, and the light here, and the sunroof make it a better space than most other small hatchbacks and compact SUVs. Now let's put things in perspective, and if you look at the pricing of the Punch, for the petrol manual variant, it goes from 6 lakh rupees to 7.3 lakh rupees. For the AMT, it goes from 7.5 to 9.5, and the CNG option is not there. Now here, the pricing is pretty aggressive. It starts 1,000 rupees less than the Punch, but here you get 6 airbags as standard, and that by itself is great value addition. And by that definition, I really believe that Hyundai have done a fantastic job. A 4-cylinder engine as opposed to 3, and 6 airbags and a ton of features which come as standard. I think this car represents fantastic value for money. The AMT will start from 7.97 lakh rupees, and it will start from the SX variant. Now there are many variants to choose from. You have the base EX, then you have the EX option, then you have the S, then you have the SX, then you have the SX options, and then on the top end of the spectrum, you have the SX Options Connect variant, which comes with Blue Link. So SX Options and SX Options Connect is differentiated only by the Blue Link. Now, the CNG variant is also priced at 8.24 lakh rupees, which is great value, I personally believe. And if you compare apples to apples, I really believe that Hyundai is offering a fantastic value proposition, tons of features, and the problem that a lot of people are facing in terms of the prices of the support meter SUVs going up. For example, Hyundai's very own Venue is about 15 and a half lakh rupees on the road. So the value seekers will definitely be delighted because this car will serve all the purposes of being a family car. It has a decent boot. You can really go out long distance in this car. And if you're looking for a budget small family car, then you should definitely go out and take a test drive of this one. I'll give you my review of this car in a couple of days. We'll be driving it in Jaipur in a couple of days, and I'll let you know everything you need to know about how it drives, rides, and the usual Motoroid style in-depth review. But I really hope that I was able to cover most of the parts that you wanted to know about in this first look and walk around. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to Motoroids, and until next time, this is Amit Changani signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.